I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, September the 24th, 2014. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas met in New York City yesterday ahead of the UN General Assembly. The two discussed the current situation in Gaza and the future of peace talks with Israel. The Associated Press reports that earlier yesterday, Abbas said that he will submit a resolution to the UN Security Council tomorrow that calls for a 3-year timetable for the withdrawal of Israeli forces from the West Bank, something the U.S. is expected to veto, maintaining that only direct negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians will lead to a resolution of the conflict. Meanwhile, Palestinian factions Fatah and Hamas continued their reconciliation talks in Cairo today as they work through several contentious issues, including who will have control of Gaza. Israel and the Palestinians agreed yesterday to resume their indirect talks next month, which are aimed at working towards reaching a final stage in the Gaza ceasefire agreement. Riots broke out on the Temple Mount this evening in Jerusalem, the eve of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. A group of masked Palestinian young men threw stones and firecrackers at Israel police from the compound of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Special units entered the compound and pushed the rioters back into the mosque as they continued to be attacked with rocks. 4 policemen were lightly wounded. Israel police reopened the area to the public once order was restored. In preparation for the beginning of the Jewish New Year, police in Israel have stepped up security, particularly in Jerusalem and in the Old City, where thousands are expected to visit during the holiday. Police spokesman Mickey Rosenfeld said special patrol units, undercover officers, and border police will be working around the clock across the country through Sunday. Reuters reports that a Jordanian military court acquitted a radical Muslim cleric for his role in planning terror attacks against Americans and Israelis. Jordan's state security court said there was not enough evidence against cleric Abu Qatada, who is charged with providing spiritual and material support for a plot to attack tourists during Jordan's New Year celebrations in 2000. Abu Qatada is known for his pro-Al-Qaeda speeches and has been referred to in the past as Osama bin Laden's right-hand man in Europe. He has been in and out of jail for the past 13 years. Qatada was expected to be freed in Amman as soon as today. Righteous among the nations honoree Elsa Beitz has died. Beitz, together with her husband, the late Bertold Beitz, was credited with saving hundreds of Jews from the Nazi death camps during the Holocaust. In 1941, Bertold was sent to Ukraine to manage an oil refinery. After seeing what was happening there, he asked that Jews who were bound for the Belchek extermination camp be handed over to him as skilled workers and issued them false work certificates. He and Elsa secretly provided those Jews with food and hid other Jews in their own home. Bertold was recognized for his courage in 1973 as Righteous Among the Nations by Israel's living memorial to the Holocaust, Yad Vashem. Elsa was given the same honor in 2006. She passed away last week at the age of 94. British Prime Minister David Cameron released a high holiday video message today where he praised the immense contribution Jews make in Britain and reiterated his stance against anti-Semitism in Britain and his hopes for a future without conflict and prejudice, both at home and in Israel.
That means lasting peace in the Middle East, a future where families don't live in fear of rocket attacks, and it means wiping out prejudice in this country, because we will not tolerate anti-Semitism in Britain. No disagreements on politics or policy can ever justify racism or extremism in any form.
Friends of the Israel Defense Forces, together with Maccabi USA, Maccabi World Union, and Maccabi Tel Aviv, will host a special reception at Brooklyn's Barclays Center next month to honor IDF soldiers wounded in the recent crisis in Gaza. The ceremony will take place just before the Brooklyn Nets take on Maccabi Tel Aviv in their first preseason game. The VIP reception will also pay tribute to the guest of honor, NBA Hall of Famer 86-year-old Dolph Shias, the only Jewish player to be selected as one of the 50 all-time NBA best. The FIDF has arranged for 12 IDF soldiers wounded during Operation Protective Edge to take part in the event, which will take place on October the 7th. All of the proceeds from the pregame event will go towards helping well-being programs for wounded IDF soldiers, lone soldiers, bereaved families, and children from Israel's south. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, September the 24th, 2014. Remember, if you are unable to attend a synagogue service for the high holidays, we are airing live Rosh Hashanah services here on JBS on Wednesday tonight, September the 24th at 8. I will be off tomorrow for Rosh Hashanah and will be back on Friday. Wishing you a happy and healthy new year. I'm Teisha Bader. Shana Tova.